What's up, fam? My name's Kiahonfire, and welcome back to Conan Exiles. Today, I'm going to do my ultimate guide on all the potions in the game. That includes elixirs in this one video, so you can watch all the things here in one go. And I will be timestamping all of the different potions and stuff, so if you've already seen one and how to get it, you can always move on to the next one. So that's what we're doing in this video today, so let's get down to it. But before we start off on this guide, I need you to remember to go first on your feats tab, then to survival, and then to Fireball Cauldron. Learn that, it will teach you lots of potions, and then next one, when you get to level 58, you will be wanting to learn all the elixirs and all of this, so you'll need to learn the potion maker. So make sure you do that if you want to make all of these recipes and stuff like that. On this list, I'm going to be going through from A to Z pretty much, unless we're talking about specific categories and stuff. So first we're going to start with one of the most easiest things in the game, and that is Aloe. Aloe looks like this. You can collect it by clicking your use key, or you can use a sickle, which will give you even more, which is very handy. This is one of my favourite locations to actually obtain Aloe, because it's all along this cross of green stretch here. So this is where I am on the map, just for reference. Once you've got your Aloe, you want to return home and go into any type of Fireball Cauldron, and then you can craft Aloe extract. So here we go, it'll take you 10 Aloe leaves to craft. You craft it by putting some fuel in there to make it burn, like coal for instance, we'll do that. And then you'll have yourself an Aloe potion. This is the simplest, easiest thing in the game to heal yourself with. So if you're really hurt and you take an Aloe extract, it will heal 30 to 33% of your maximum HP over 10 seconds. Next we're moving on to Ambrosia, a really low level kind of thing you can use to heal yourself with in the start of Conan Exiles. This is a very simple thing to do. It will take you one Lingering Essence. Lingering Essence can be obtained by using the Mitrian Ankh, a item that you can make with iron and branches, and all you'll need to do is smack dead bodies, like people bodies, with one of these ankhs to get that lingering stuff, and then you can make Ambrosia. If you don't have Mitra as a learnt religion, all you need to do is come to the actual shrine of Mitra, which is right here, and you'll want to talk to Morella, this lady with the blue sweatpants, and then you can learn to be an acolyte of Mitra. You only need the first shrine, so you can make the Ambrosia. This place is literally on these double oasis areas on the map, Muriel's Hope. There you go, that's where it is. Once you've made yourself some Ambrosia, if you take it, it will regenerate, like the Aloe extract, 30 to 33% of your maximum HP over 10 seconds. So having both Aloe extract and Ambrosia in the beginning of your Conan Exiles experience can be very handy, but cheap healing ways to go about things. Next we're moving on to a really great potion. This is called Berserker Draught. We're going to start off because we actually need the teachings of Ymir to actually get this, and you can get that by talking to this big ogre boy up on the top of a cliff and learn his altar to Ymir. This area is right here in this location by the bowl, just above the Man's of the Dead. Once you've learnt it though, you want to learn up to the exalted altar to Ymir to actually make this Berserker Draught. You're going to need level 50 to do this, so there we go. You're also going to need one of the two priests that can actually help you make this, because you actually need a priest to be able to make the Berserker Draught in the first place. The most easiest one is Anastasia the Seeress, and this one is found in the actual Asgard city, which is right here in this location in the town centre actually, and she looks like this. Or the other one is called Drem the Occultist, but he can only be brought through the purge, so like the Sumerian Berserker purge will drop him, so he's a lot harder to get, so you might want to invest your time in getting Anastasia. But pretty much once you got that and you've made yourself a shrine, you will place her in the shrine, and then you're going to see this blueprint actually pops up. So it's one glass flask, it is an alchemic base, it is a Heart of the Nordheimer, and 2 Crimson Lotus powders. I'd say the Berserker Draught is really nice, you just have to put it with something else because it can give you horrible drunken and alcohol poisoning if you use it. But this Draught will increase your vitality by +3 for 60 minutes on the first potion. It increases your strength to +3 for 60 minutes on the second potion, and increased stamina regeneration and cannot be crippled and it will give healing restricted for 15 seconds. I'm gonna say if you want to pop this, you want to do it as soon as possible while you're fighting, because it will give you a plus 23 in the first few seconds of this. You can see I'm just crippled rage now, so it's gone back down to plus 3. So if you want to do the maximum amount of damage whilst you're drinking this thing, you want to do it within the first 15 seconds. So this is actually a really great drought, I'd say, to have, as long as you have things to fix the alcohol poisoning. Next we're moving on to Lotus Potions. These can be obtained by picking up lotus plants, and we're going to be going through all of them. For most Lotus Potions you will need to do the following. You will need to put the flower in the grinder to make the powder. So this includes for everything. So for frost, crimson, golden, grey, black. Most of them will require you to actually grind them into a thin powder to make it into the potion variation. For the Black Lotus Potion, you're going to need 1 water-filled glass, 3 lotus powder, and 1 alchemic base to actually make this. Once you've done that, you can just craft it after you've turned your pot on. To make this, you will need the improved fireball cauldron for all of the Black Lotus Potions, so bear that in mind. And then once we have our Black Lotus Potion, I can show you what it does. Black Lotus Potion comes with heavy cons, but it also can come with pretty good perks. So the first potion you take will make you drunk, poisoned, but it will increase your vitality to 3. By the time you have taken 3 Black Lotus Potions, you will have increased strength by plus 3. And this will last for about 60 minutes. Luckily though, I have a few set antidotes on me to fix that problem up, because I personally don't want to be drunk for the rest of the video. Next we're moving on to our Golden Lotus Potion. For this one you don't actually need to grind the flowers, which is very nice. So you can just craft this in with a water glass filled 2 Golden Lotus flowers and a alchemic base to make the Golden Lotus Potion. Once you've done that, you can pick it up and then we can see what it does. So if you take 1 Golden Lotus Potion, it will increase your charisma and your grit to plus 3. If you take a 3rd potion, it will increase your vitality to plus 3. And on the 5th potion, you'll get your strength increased by plus 3. Plus, it gives you 15% of your maximum HP over 5 seconds. Moving on to Grey Lotus Potions now, you will actually need to grind the flowers for this one, and we're going to need 3 Grey Lotus powder to begin with. Once you've got that together, you're going to need a water flask, 3 Grey Lotus powder, and 1 alchemic base to make the potion. Then you can go ahead and craft it. For the Grey Lotus Potion, you're going to need to take 1 for increased grit plus 3 and increased strength plus 3. But if you take 3 of them, it will give you increased vitality plus 3 as well. And this will last for 60 minutes. Of course though, it is going to give you alcohol poisoning and make you very drunk. Next, moving on to the Purple Lotus Potion, we're going to need to grind down 3 Purple Lotus flowers for Purple Lotus powder, and then we need an alchemic base and again a glass flask. And then we can craft our potion up. This Purple Lotus Potion will increase your charisma and increase your strength plus 3. But if you reach the 3rd potion, you will get a increased vitality perk by plus 3. When you first drink this one, beware it will cripple you, and again it's going to make you drunk and might give you alcohol poisoning if you drink enough of them. Moving on to our last potion, the Frost Leaf Potion. So here we go, we're going to need actual 2 Frost Lotus flowers, so not the powder. We're going to need an alchemic base and a water flask, and then we can craft it. This one is actually really interesting because if you drink one, it will plus 3 a random attribute. So this can be encumbrance, grit, strength, or survival. Or drinking multiple bottles may grant you all of them. However, this can give you a short-term poison on your user and cause slight damage. So you will need set antidote or things that will cure your poisoning or drunkenness. And just so you know, these Lotus Potions do not stack. So I have had several, and as you can see, they are not stacking. So do bear that in mind. Do not go ahead and chug loads of them because you're not going to get them all stacked up on top of each other. Next we're moving on to a breathing potion. Now this one can be found alongside the glowing essence. And you need to actually get into the Dregs dungeon to obtain this recipe. So the easiest way to do this, to open the door, is you're going to bring this Dafari fighter, whatever it might be, and then you want to stand on the plate, and then you want to go about murderizing him. This will in turn open the door so you can get access to the inside and the tablet you're going to need to click on to learn the potion. Once you're inside, you only need to just go out here and click E on this and you would have learned Defeat the Dredger. Then you can come back to your normal fireball cauldron and all you need is a water orb and 5 glowing essence, which you will also learn from the same protocol. So this is going to take you 10 glowing goop and 2 aloe leaves. You can actually get the glowing goop from those blue flowers inside of the Dregs dungeon. And then the aloe leaves, you already know how to get those because I told you so earlier. But once you've got those things, you can make a breathing potion, and this thing is pretty great if you want to go in the ocean dungeon early on. And for the next potion we're about to talk about, this will also be handy to get there. So pretty much if you're going to go swimming and you have this breathing potion, you're diving, you can see my breath is going away. I'm going to take one of these potions and you can see it has stopped my breathing bar from actually going down at all. It lasts for 1 minute, so if you have several of them on you, it's a very handy way to have a lot of breath and go around just fine. However, if this is not enough breath for you, you can then go about making the Fish Gill potion, which will require 1 purple lotus powder, 1 crimson lotus powder, 1 alchemic base, and 1 water-filled glass flask. And that way you can have this one. This one will last for 2 minutes instead of 1, and that's pretty much all it will do. And it does the exact same thing as the other potion does. So a quick example, I'm underwater, I drink this, there we go, 2 minutes of breath. No bars going down at all for the next 2 minutes. But if this breathing is really not enough for you, then you can go and get the Breath of Dagon. For this you need to go to the underwater ocean dungeon, and this one can be travelled to via this boat. So upon the map you see in this little square here, my marker's here, and then in this marker is a boat. We click E on it, and we have made our way to the sunken city. Now I'm going to speed my way there with a time lapse so it doesn't take forever for me to explain this to you in this already very long video. So time lapse go! Now we've reached the boat, we're at the actual dungeon area, so we're going to need to go into one of the blue holes, so follow me very carefully. And here we go, we're inside where we need to be now. Pretty much, you get to fight this boss dude and all these creepy people, or you can just run by all of them and not give two shits and click E on this Dagon's Breath tablet, then get the hell out of there. Although, I'm going to say you might want to kill the little blue man group there, because you're actually going to need Dagon scales to make said potion. So just bear that in mind. To make the Breath of Dagon, we need a Fish Gill potion that I told you to make earlier, 2 alchemic base, 1 black lotus powder, and 1 scale of Dagon. Then you can go ahead and craft this one up. Now this water potion is the king of all water potions. If you drink it, it will give you a whole 10 minutes of underwater breathing. So you can go happily around and be a little mermaid person like you are. Next we are moving on to all of our elixirs. Now there is an elixir for pretty much every stat in the game, and each elixir will give you +3 into that stat for 60 minutes. So we'll briefly go over this. The Elixir of Enduring will give you +3 grit for 60 minutes. It will take a glass-filled flask, it will take an alchemic base, it will take a crimson lotus powder, and it will take a golden lotus powder. Next we move on to the Elixir of Grace. This will increase your agility for +3 for 60 minutes. This takes an alchemic base, a water flask, and 2 crimson lotus powders. Next we move on to the Elixir of Ingestion. This elixir allows you to have +3 survival for 60 minutes. To make it you need a water-filled glass flask, 1 alchemic base, 1 purple lotus powder, and a crimson lotus powder. Next we move on to the Elixir of Might. This will increase your strength for +3 for 60 minutes. It's going to take you a water flask, 1 alchemic base, 1 frost lotus powder, and 1 grey lotus powder. Then we go on to the Elixir of Numbing. This elixir increases your encumbrance by +3 for 60 minutes. It takes a water-filled glass flask, 1 alchemic base, and 2 frost lotus powders. Then we move on to the Elixir of Sight. This will give you increased accuracy for +3 for 60 minutes. It's going to take you a water-filled glass flask, 1 alchemic base, and 2 grey lotus powders. Then we move on to the Elixir of Vigor. This will give you +3 vitality for 60 minutes, and it will take you a water-filled glass flask, 1 alchemic base, a black lotus powder, and a frost lotus powder. Now there is another very special elixir that you can make, but you're going to need a T1 shrine of the Decado religion. This one is called the Elixir of Freedom. You're going to need to make the Decado's Kiss first and sacrifice people for silver of the unfulfilled. Then you're going to need 10 handfuls of insects, and then you can make yourself an Elixir of Freedom. This elixir will give you increased stamina +20 for 60 minutes, so it'll be a nice regenerating elixir, and it also removes cripple. There is also another potion elixir. This one's called the Hunter's Potion, and it can be crafted in the first tier of shrine from the Jebel Sag religion, which is required from doing the Midnight Grove. This potion increases your accuracy by +5, and that is for 60 minutes. Apparently it also gives you a little bit of health regen as well when you use it. Next we're moving on to a potion that you don't actually craft, it's one you find. Now this is in the area of Hanumans Cave, and to actually obtain these potions you're going to need to bring an offering of a heart. Now this heart can extend from anywhere from the Heart of the Nordheimer to the Heart of the Sands to the Heart of King Scourge to the Human Heart and the Withered Heart. You can actually kill the guy in there and it will give you a withered heart. So if you want to obtain the potion that way, you're more than welcome to do so. But pretty much I'm going to breeze through this cave and show you what to do. Pretty much you're going to need to bring your heart and click select on this box. So I'm just going to borrow this, guys. Thank you. And then you want to select the box and it will give you a Hanumans Gift. It can also give you boons and stuff like that, but what we're looking for today is the gift. Upon consumption it will give you a +3 in a random attribute for 60 minutes. So this can be encumbrance, survival, agility, grit, strength, accuracy, you name it. The next potion we're looking for is called the Infused Aloe Extract. Now this is a potion that is way better than the normal aloe extract, and it is once again obtained from the underwater city dungeon. So we're going to start at the boat checkpoint that I went to earlier in the video in this area. If you're wondering where that is and you've skipped, then you need to go and look back at the breathing potion. That will take you to this exact boat right here. And here we go, we're right in the location that I want to be. So pretty much there's a fishy boy in here and there's a tablet at the end. I'm going to go and select on this tablet, and we have learnt the ancient Lemurian aloe extract. Now you are going to need Scales of Dagon to make this actual extract, so if you want to go ahead and kill fish people in the area, then I would go about and do so. But pretty much we're going to go back to our fireball cauldron, and to make it we need 1 aloe extract, 2 glowing goop and 2 scales of Dagon to make it, and then we can go ahead and craft that baby. Now the potion is pretty expensive, but it is pretty decent also, so if I'm to chug one right now, it's going to recover 40 to 50% of my maximum HP over 10 seconds. And if I was to have 40 stat points into Vitality, it would heal me almost to 100% in 10 seconds. So these potions are pretty mad, especially if you're in a VIP build. Then I'd say they are pretty much the most worth it if you're in that kind of the build. Our next potion, again, we're going to need the basic shrine from Jebel Sag. And this is the Night Eye Potion. It can be made by Sacred Blood and a water-filled glass flask. To get the Sacred Blood, you just need a blood letter, and you need to use this on humans' dead bodies. I'm not going to drink one because I won't be able to see properly for the next 5 minutes, which is not ideal for this kind of video, but basically it gives you the ability to see in the dark for 5 minutes. Our next potion is the Potion of Beastial Memory. This one only resets your attribute points, it doesn't reset anything else but attributes, and it does decay pretty quick, so be careful with that. To make it, you actually need to consult Mr. Hyena Boy first to learn one of his recipes. You need to learn the Midnight Alchemist to be able to make this stuff. And this guy is found right here on this little ruin on my player marker. But once you've done that, you can make it like any other potion in a fireball cauldron, and you're going to need a water-filled glass flask, 3 yellow lotus blossoms, 10 raw ash, and 3 blood. So it's handy if you would just like to reset your attributes. So say you put too much in Vitality, you make one, it removes all of them, and then you can reset all of your points back to how you'd like it. For our next potion, we're actually going back to this guy, and we're going to go and talk to him. It's called the Potion of Midnight, which you purchase for 5 feral flesh off of this guy, and it's the easiest way to do it, since these expire really quickly. They expire in 30 seconds, but basically if you drink one of these, it will give you access to the Midnight Grove, a special dungeon full of creatures and animals and bosses that will enable you to go through it, and then if you complete it, you will be able to make the altars of Jebel Sag and all of the things in the religion. So that one's an important one to remember if you want to go dungeon hunting. And before I move off of my spot, we are actually going to move on to the Potion of Natural Learning, which you also need to learn the Midnight Alchemist for. If we double check our location from last time, we are right here. Now if we go back to our fireball cauldron, you can make it with 1 glass water flask, 3 yellow lotus blossoms, 10 raw ash, and 3 bone meal. And this one does the opposite of the other one, it will reset only your feat points. Next potion I can't believe I'm covering, but here goes. It's the Potion of Endowment. Now this is pretty much an RP's dream potion, I guess you could say. And we're going to need to go and actually learn a recipe on this bench. You click E on it, you've learnt a specialist cooking feat. This one is by Drifter's Rest on this tiny little island in the jungle right here. Once you've learnt it, you can go back to your fireball cauldron and you can make it with a glass flask, 1 alchemic base, and 3 grey lotus powders. Now what does it do, you might ask? Well, first of all, you need to be a male. Second of all, you need to go to your server settings and put on nudity. Third, you need to move one's trousers, and then you can drink the potion and enjoy. Oh god, why am I doing this? Our next potion we're talking about is the Reaper Poison. Now this is one that you can make. It is a poison that you can stack up to 10 times on a weapon, and all you need to make it is a Sand Reaper Toxin Gland, so you got to kill those disgusting little tentacle boys. By the 10 stacks, I mean with this you can stab something and then the maximum poison it stacks is 10. So there you go, that bear has 10 poison on it from my Reaper Poison. And this same kind of stacking applies with the next poison we're going to talk about, which is Scorpion Queen Poison. Now this is obtained a little bit differently. To get this feat, we actually need to scoot our way into the jawbone to get the poison. So this is like a little mine shaft area, and it's kind of near Set City, but it's just on this pathway here, so it's kind of hard to miss. So now I'm going to speed run this mine. Also, there's silver around here, so if you want to farm silver, this is a good spot for it. But no, I'm going to speed run this mine and show you where to get this poison. Finally, we are here. So there's a tablet down here. I'm going to click E on it, and that's going to give us the engram for the Scorpion Queen Venom. However, we're not done here yet. You're actually going to have to kill this lady and farm her for her glands. So if I'm to go and skin her, there we go, bang. You can see I'm going to get a Scorpion Queen Venom gland, and that is what we are looking for. So this stuff. Once you've obtained both feet and poison gland, we can now go back to our fireball cauldron, and we are going to go and make a Scorpion Queen poison with our venom glands. It will take 1 per poison, so you might have to farm her out quite a few times to get what you want. This one is about 80 to 100% stronger than the Reaper poison. However, something really interesting to know is they can be stacked against each other. So here we go, we have a silverback gorilla. I'm going to give it some Reaper poison, and then you can see I can also add Scorpion Queen poison on here, and I think if it works right, yeah, there we go, if we have a poisonous weapon, you can have a 3rd stack of poison on their bar, so you can actually stack all of those poisons up. So what I mean by weapon poison is if you're lucky enough to get a festering one, or you're lucky enough to get venom infused anything, then they both have poison on them, and then you can apply those. These don't both work at the same time though, so you have this one, and then you have this one. You can see it applies onto the same poison stack buff, so it's only the potions that add a different poison stack on there, so there you go. So you can poison your enemies very well. Next we're moving on to another potion that I would say is pretty key for most Conan Exile gameplay. This is called the Set Antidote, and you only need the first altar of Set and the Set religion teacher to teach you how to make this kind of thing, unless you've chosen it as your personal religion. Now this thing is absolutely brilliant. You only need a human heart, which you can harvest through making the Setite ritual knife and killing people. Well, harvesting them with this ritual knife. Then you get the hearts and you make a Set Antidote. This thing is brilliant because it removes poison effects, including alcohol poisoning, and it's really cheap to do so, so I always make effort to make a bunch of these to remove whatever is bothering me at the time, and I'd say it's an absolute staple in gameplay. Next we're moving on to a very important potion as well. This can only be found at the Mans of the Dead camp through killing Sumerians. And wow, this actual Sumerian fighter has dropped us one straight away already. Just bear in mind it's not an every time drop, and they can be quite the rarity. Now the Spectre coating is a poison that works against the undead, so you can coat this on any weapon, and then you need to go and stab a dead person. It will last for about 10 swings, so that's 10 swings of the Spectre, and it can also stack up to 10, so I'm just going to swing, swing, swing. Our next potion can be obtained by talking to Shamala, the Pirate Queen. If you go to Buccaneer's Bay, you might just find this merchant pirate lady, and you're going to need to learn Stygian Alchemy. If you're curious where this area is, it's up at the top of this structure right here, so you might find it easier to climb the cliff to get into the structure, or you can just climb the big hanging tapestries. What you can create from this is an elixir called Vehemence Elixir. This elixir can be made with 1 water-filled glass flask, 2 alchemic base, 5 crimson lotus powders, 5 frost lotus powders, and it will be made like that. Then you can pop it on craft. Now I must say this thing is pretty darn cool. Basically what it will do for you, if your body temperature is too high, it will put on a cooling effect for you. If your body temperature is too low, it will heat you up. To give you an example, you can see I'm absolutely freezing my underbreeches off, so I'm going to drink one of these. You see I'm warming up very nicely there. It still says I'm in the cold region, but I'm not in frostbite anymore, so that's really good. It means I can regenerate health still, even though I'm cold. And now I am being put into soothing buff, so it's not even cold anymore. Next one we're going to learn about is Violet Curative. You need 10 serpent venom glands for this one, and pretty much what it does is it's an anti-poison. It will remove all poison effects, including alcohol poisoning and stuff like that. Now our last and least potion is the Yellow Lotus Potion. To make this, you actually need to harvest Yellow Lotus Blossom, and this could be found all over the starter zone. It can even be found in the highlands in some places, and it can even be found in the tundra as well. It's an extremely easy potion to make, only requiring 10 Yellow Lotus flowers. And what it will do is it will remove both your attributes and feat points, so it will reset you absolutely completely. So it's good if you want to reset everything, and it's very cheap for early on removals of feats and attributes. But anyway, that's pretty much everything we have to cover today. That is all the potions or the elixirs that I have covered for you in this video. I hope you learnt something different, or maybe you found out what things do. If you're interested in more guides, I have a Conan Exiles playlist down below in my description, so you can check out lots of different guides about lots of different things. One of the recent ones I've done is a guide on hidden armors that you might find of interest, so do check that out if you haven't already. If you like this video, please subscribe, it really does help. But anyway, thank you for watching, I love you, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye!